All right, welcome back. So this is going to be the first reviewed book that I have. It's going to be Rejected by Jaymin Eve, and the series is called Shadow Beast Shifters. I didn't read a blurb, didn't read the content warning, didn't read any of the tags for on romance.io. I purchased the book on November 19th, 2025 for $3.99 for $4.32 after tax, which is, in my opinion, a pretty good deal, and I'm pretty excited about that. The stats that I had on romance.io was 211 ratings at the time that I purchased it. Had an average rating of 3.89, which makes it the lowest rated book of the 21 books I picked out. And it was published 5 years ago on December 8th, 2020. Spice rating of 3 out of 5. I don't know what that means. We're going to find out. It had 378 pages on romance.io. The Kindle page count is 398. And here's the cover. It's a romance novel. That's what I definitely get from this. This is what you would expect from a romance novel. I do like how the lady is looking at me. Mm-hmm. That's what we want. We want her to be enjoying herself and checking me out. Like the red hair. I like it looks like brown eyes because usually the trope is green eyes with red hair. There's books flying around. We got magic going on. We got some fire going on. I don't know what a shadow beast is. I don't know what a shifter is. I'm guessing we're shifting into shadow beasts. I am upset that the claws are destroying the books. Like that was an artistic choice. It was a choice. I like the little dimples on his back. So what attracts me the most of anything is those hips, the grippable hips, and the dimples on the back is definitely where you can get your mittens in there. I like tattoos. I don't know about how I feel about the crew cut. Looks I was in the Marine Corps and seeing that it's like, oh, you're just a private. Like that's the haircut of people that are freshly into the military, which can be good. I definitely dated a lot when I was young in the military, so I can see how that is definitely desirable. I love tattoos, though. I absolutely love tattoos. Okay, so that's what we know. There's no spoilers, nothing going on here. So I am going to go and read a book, and then I will be back to tell you how I like the book. Okay, so I read the book. I ended up having to read it twice. Not because I was planning on or anything. It's just I realized that I missed something when I first read it, which we'll get into later. But I did like the book. I love my experience with it. I had a good time reading it. The plot was interesting and not predictable in all the good ways, not bad ways. And I really love the female main character. She's absolutely unique and wonderful in a way that I've never read before. Maybe you've read before, but I haven't. The female main character basically saved the book for me. And if I do continue the series, it's because of her. I didn't really care for any of the male main characters. It's not because of like any kind of bad writing or anything. I couldn't relate to any of them. Pretty much everyone that's a love interest is written as a narcissist, and I mean, I root against narcissists. But you, the world building was very good. I was really interested in a lot of things that we were teased with that we didn't get to see in the novel. And it was written in a way where like maybe it was a nudge wink wink to people that read these novels and stuff, which unfortunately I'm not part of that. But it was very interesting. I would love to and explore all that with you, but I guess not in this novel. I would give it a 4-star rating. Um, I still don't know like what the average is on romance.io, so it's hard to say. But I don't think it was a 4.5 stars because I believe the rating system goes like 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5. I don't think it was a 4.5, and I don't think it was 3.5. So I think 4 is accurate. If you are interested in this novel and want to read it, I would highly suggest you dedicate yourself to all 3 books. I believe it's in a trilogy because pretty much all of the character arcs and plot arcs are not resolved by the end of the book, except for one, but I feel like it's cheating. So I think that's pretty much all I have to say about any spoilers and stuff. I don't think I would really recommend the book. I'd have to really read the rest of the trilogy to give a recommendation. I did read it twice, so um, it was at least enjoyable for enough for that. And that's it. So from here on out, there's spoilers. So be careful. All right. So spoilers. This is a werewolf book. So I thought I'd get my werewolf shirt out. This T-shirt was given to me by my daughter for Father's Day after I, you know, established my dominance in my patriarchal household. She wanted to give me a token for everyone to, you know, realize how much of an alpha male I am, and here I am. Okay, so in the book we start with chapters 1 through 15. This is when Mir is going through her time on Earth and a time in a werewolf pack. Chapters 1 is introduction to her mom and her alcoholic ways in the situation. Very sad that Mir is being bullied and she's the lower echelons of her pack in life. Chapter 2 is we get to see the bullying, which is at college apparently. But the way that it's written is that it's kind of like a sheltered society. So having this one school that has elementary through high school and then college also, I mean, it makes sense. We get to run into Torin and Jackson and Cicely and Simone. Simone is her best friend, her only friend, and she's awesome. I wish we would see more of her in the novel, but we don't really. Jackson is her childhood friend who turned against her because her dad challenged the Alpha, and everyone sees him as a traitor and her by adjacency. And it kind of like really hurt Jackson, so he's like taking out on her still and hangs out with Torn. He has the official title of a beta, which I I don't know if that's desirable. I don't feel like it's desirable. Then you have Torn, who's the prince. He's the son of the alpha of the pack, and um, he has his prom queen, which is Cicely, supposed to be your true mate, and I guess they pick mates and stuff. This is one of the parts that was confusing to me because, like, you know, the that paper from the '90s about alphas and betas and stuff, and wolves and everything. There was like there's one alpha and everyone else is betas. So having an official title of beta when everyone else isn't that title is just it was really confusing to me. And this isn't like knocks against the story and stuff. It was just weird. I was like, all right, I guess we're going with this. So yeah, they do the bullying. You have a casual sexual assault, and just ripping her bra and shirts with from Jackson and not drawing blood. It made me think that maybe he's like protecting her, and he's the main male character. There's a lot more deeper things going on that we don't really learn until later. At the time, there's lots of hints about things that we don't know that we should know probably. Mary is like, I don't really know why I'm being bullied. So, I mean, she knows, but like she doesn't really know why they keep bullying her. Like, I'm with you. I don't like. They talk about like how no one can lead the pack, so if she's gonna be a part of the pack, like what are we doing here? You have to forgive her at some point. And then Jackson is like, why don't you leave? Why are you still here? I'm like, we just established that she can't leave. I don't know what the expectations are. Can you fill me in about your expectations? And it is a little bit of inconsistency there, but I mean, he's written as a narcissist, or like he at no point ever thinks about what Mira's feelings are, or tries to understand Mira's feelings. And Mira's got no filters, so she'll tell you. So, like, you should probably ask. All right, chapter 3 is we get to find out where Mira works at, which is a library. And I'm a nerd. We're all nerds here. We read books, so yeah. It also explains why she's taking English lit in her senior year as a 22-year-old. And then we meet Danny, who's there's clearly more going on with Danny. And unfortunately, we don't really get to learn all that this novel. But she's very nice. She's the call to adventure that we have in the hero's journey. So moving on to that. Then we have chapter 4. There's some huge pack meeting with adults. And they're changing the rules for Mira's shift, of course. So she's with Simone. and they're talking, and Mira's like, I'm getting the hell out of here. This is my chance. There's no one around. I'm getting out of the pack. And we've already kind of established that no one leaves the pack. So good luck. I am rooting for you. Chapters 5 and 6 is the awesome. I think these are some of my favorite chapters. Is when we realize and see how Mira is going to be on the outside world without the pack, and it's so heartwarming. She's a waitress. She's flirting. She's thriving. She's prospering. She's having fun. She's smiling, and she's optimistic, and she's naive about her abilities to repair things in her house. And it's so beautiful, like seeing this 22-year-old being out for her first time and like actually doing really well. And it's a really good example of one of the writing pitfalls you can have when you write in the first person, is that you can't really trust the narrative that the first person perspective is giving you. You can't really trust Mira in telling the truth. And this is different from the narrative tense, which is third person past tense, where we kind of just get told what's happening and stuff. We're looking like there's a God telling us what's happening and stuff, so you can kind of trust that. But from a first person perspective, Mira's perspective, we don't know if she's telling the truth. In this specific case, she's not. She thinks that she's safe. She thinks she's far enough. She thinks that she's covered her tracks and they're not going to find her and stuff. And that is a perfect example of how to write first person perspective well. So I really liked it. I was very impressed. And it's so heartwarming seeing Mira behave during these two chapters. Like I wish we could all be like this, where like she's been beaten down by society at the lower bottom of it, but she's still so optimistic. She doesn't let anything deter her. And I'm just falling in love with this character. So chapter 7 is where Torrin, Jackson, and another werewolf that was tracking her come to take her back, and they're teasing her and taunting her. And I'm just like, I hate these guys. Mira does get a nice little jab into his heart. Nice little symbology. We love it. And then Jackson's like, you're going to pay for that. I'm just like, at this point, like, what are we doing here with you? Like, you wanted her to leave, and then you come and grab her and get pissed off when she defends herself. Like, I thought you wanted her to leave. Chapter 8, she's been passed out for a week, recovering from her injuries that Jackson tore into her. And then she wakes up with the town whore, the alpha's mate, like, I guess attacking her, and there's a door open, so she runs. Like that, we've established that she's trying to run from the pack, and we have an open door, and she runs from the pack. Like I feel like the other characters in this society might, be worried about that too. But you also can hand wave it away because like no one leaves the pack, so I don't need to guard the door. It's this wonderful contrast or of expectations where like you would think that any rational person would do this, but then you're like, well, they are not rational with thinking that no one leaves the pack. So it's wonderful to see these expectations have consequences for the pack, and Mira just keeps exploiting them, jumping into the river because no one's gonna look in the river. So it really sees the intelligence of Mira, where you have these expectations and keeps destroying them. Chapter 9 is with Jackson, captures her from the river and stuff, and they have like a falling out and yelling and talking about their childhood and expectations. Jackson says, I'm going to find your weakness and I'm going to own you. Like, my brother, you don't say the quiet part out loud. And it just makes me root against him. Like he doesn't care about Mira. He doesn't care about her feelings. He doesn't care about what she wants at all, about the years of suffering. He's only caring about himself. He only cares about how Mira is interacting with him as an object, as part of his desires, and how can she serve the pack. And it's just narcissist behavior, in my opinion. Yeah, we're rooting against Team Jackson. Do not like. In chapter 10, Jackson is the guard now instead of the town whore. And they're getting ready for her first shifting. She's 22 years old. And by the way, thank you for writing these all as 22-year-olds, because I can relate to 22-year-olds much more than 18-year-olds these days. I really don't want to have to deal with another Twilight anytime soon. Danny shows up and tells Jackson it's too late. Like, those feelings are gone. I'm like, hey, we'll see. Chapter 11 and 12 are very interesting. Chapter 11 is when Mira shifts into the first time. They're out in the woods naked, and they have this brutal, savage changing. It's very quite painful. All your bones are getting broken. I don't really know if I want to go through that, but shifting does sound cool. So she's running out in the woods, and Jackson shows up. I'm like, all right, here comes the matingness. Make her a mate. And what does he do? He just frolics with her for 3 hours. And I'm not being sarcastic or anything. The word frolic was used. It just makes me question Jackson, and I'm like, maybe there's gonna be a M romance later, because he clearly having some issues with this one. And then the pack leader calls. Victor is very upset with her for leaving the pack, and threatens her with like some insane pack bond so she can't leave again. I don't really know what that means, but apparently it turns into her a sex slave. Which at this point, like, okay, we need some smut. And then she runs at the end of chapter 11 into Torn and find out, surprise, that the wolf inside of Mira is his true mate, which brings up immediately some questions about Cicely. Like, what happened? Like, I thought we established that she was the true mate. Were you lying? Let's spill some tea here. I want to hear it. And in chapter 12, she's very, very cognizant of what's going on, and starts a fight with Mira. They're fighting and not gnawing and attacking each other, completely naked, by the way. And this is hot. This is a turn on. I discovered, thank you, author, that I definitely have some kind of werewolf primal kink for sure. And I mean, I already knew that I had a primal kink. I love biting, and I didn't ever really associate it with werewolves, though. It was more like a dragon thing, and I know it's cliche, but like that's the kind of stories I've seen. It was like dragons biting. Werewolves was always very violent and savage and scary in like horror movies, so it was never sexy to me. And I mean, I know Twilight had werewolves, but there was no female werewolves. It was always male werewolves with six packs, and they just kind of stood around and showed off. And that was never sexy to me. That was kind of boring. But in this book, it's sexy. I love it. And after this series, I'm definitely going to be looking at some werewolf tags for sure to explore this whole little genre. I'm sure there's some girlies that are like, ooh, he's part of the knowing now. Yeah. And I don't even know if the author meant to write this as a sexy scene, but man, I was loving it. I asked my partner if I ever go feral or anything. And she's like, yeah, when you're high. And I'm like, oh, that's right. Because like my memory is kind of fragmented when I'm high and don't really remember a lot of it. But like, yeah. I mean, she's not really like a werewolf or anything. She's not super primal. She likes biting, but being bit more like, and I guess she's more of it like a deer. And not like a deer that wants to be hunted, more like a deer that wants to jump onto your plate and spread their legs and say, yes, please. So that's our dynamic. So chapter 12, Torrin rejects immediately this true mateness thing. I don't know why. Like, we know what true mates are. We've talked about them so far. Mira's been dreading the possibility of her being a true mate to anyone. So like we've kind of established what this is, and I'm pretty sure Torrin knows. So like, what are we doing here? Why are we rejecting this? From me, like, there's an alpha and there's a bunch of betas. Kind of like a poly community thing. I don't know, but I don't think Mira's gonna share. But maybe Cicely will. I don't know. I guess they had a fight, so maybe they won't. And like Victor's all sad now because now he has to respect the whole true mateness, and it's just really, I just really love this dynamic here. At the end of chapter 12, we have her going double visioned, and she touches a shadow being, and it like scatters and stuff. She's really confused. I'm like, okay, this is a thing. I have no context for what any of this is. I mean, later we'll find out, but like, I'm just, just going with it. Sure, she can do that. And then chapter 13 is probably my second favorite. So first of all, we get smut in chapter 13. So we gotta do the smut down. Got her smut. Got her smut. Thank you for the smut. I mean, it was a few thrusts, but it's still smut. And this entire chapter is quite wonderful. We have Mira, who's captured now and tied to Torn's bedpost, naked, of course. And Cicely and Torn are arguing about just like killing her, and Torn's like, nah. She's my true mate. But he's already rejected her. He like banished her. He's like, yeah, we'll just banish her. She was already banished. She'd already left. You're not going to be punishing her. And so instead of being banished, they could tie her to the bedpost. Like, I thought we just banished her. So we're back in Torn's bedroom now? What happened to the banishment? Make up your mind, man. And then Cicely becomes like a bitch in heat because she's with Torn. And they start going at it. And Torn's like watching Mira. And Mira's wolf inside of her is like, oh. This is going to be a theme the entire book. This poor wolf, man, gets nothing ever. So Torn's like trying to dominate her with his eyes, his true mate, trying to, get that sexual tension going. And Mira's like, fuck you. She's like not giving him anything. She's like totally denying him in his eyes. And Cicely's getting railed right here, and she's upset. She's super self-conscious and self-aware about her new role in life. She's not the true mate, and the true mate's right here. Like, but she's still like horny, and it's so wonderful. And Torn's getting frustrated because he's not getting what he wants from Mira. I just love this because, like, if I'm going to read a novel about, like, a sex slave, it better be about a woman that is uplifted, like a phoenix rising, as they keep saying in the book. And she becomes this object of desire from 3 men that are in the higher echelons of the society, and they all demand her submissiveness. And then we get to see in this chapter what this demand for her submissiveness is doing to these people. It's destroying them. She's throwing insults out this whole time. It's like so beautiful. This idea of this sex slave's like submissiveness, destroying this patriarchy, destroying the prince, destroying the alpha, wrecking this prom queen, and like just she's destroying them. Yes, please. This is the story I want to read. I'm like ready to go. So in chapter 13 and beginning of 14, Cicely and Mira have a nice little fight, and then she calls on the Shadow Beast to save her, and everything starts turning black and dark. Jackson comes to save Mira from her bindings at the bedpost and give her some clothes. And then 15, all of the pack is watching this gateway, and the Shadow Beast coming in looking for the person that touched the Shadow Realm. And I got a word for you, Shadow Beast. I have something to ask you. Can you please just come back in 2 months? This dynamic of Mira like becoming demanded and destroying their society is so compelling. I want to read this. Please go away. You can have her later, man. Can we just like destroy this patriarchy first? So Shadow Beast grabs Mira and throws her over his shoulders like a sack of potatoes, and just randomly electrocutes her, of course. And then on his way out, murders the werewolf dictator. And at the time, I didn't even read why he did. I was angry. I'm very upset with you, Shadow Beast, right now. Like, you're punishing me. You're punishing me. Punish Mira. What are you doing? So, werewolf dictator orders all his betas to attack, and Shadow Beast is like, "You're not worthy to be alpha," and just murders him in front of everyone. And Shadow Beast, I mean, he's sexy. he's. I want to be the Shadow Beast. Like, I understand what this character is. I want to be that. Maybe you want to bed him. I want to be him. He definitely did not turn me bisexual or anything. So I understand the desire of the Shadow Daddy, but like just come back in 2 months, man. And then like there's some kind of like rule or something that they talk about where Torrhen's like, she's mine, you can't have her. I'm like, God, you already banished her and rejected her. I don't think that's gonna work. And then Mira's throwing insults out at everyone on her way out with the Shadow Beast. It's like, God, I love this girl. And Jackson's like, reject the Shadow Beast, come back to the bullying. I just trying to imagine how Jackson and Torrhen see her, that she would actually reject this and come back to this horrible life that she's had with them. This is extreme narcissist behavior. Not able to have any empathy for Mira at all. Like, I hate both of you. Like, I hope Shadow Beast kill them too, please. Like, if we don't get to see the downfall of this patriarchy, at least just kill them all. Okay, and then we get to chapters 16 through 31, and we have to have a new introduction because we have a new predicament and new location. So we take 4 chapters to like explain what's going on here. And it reminds me a lot of Beauty and the Beast. If Belle had a mouth on her and threw out zingers and insults all the time, and her dad was dead, and the village that she just left was full of Gastons, which, to be fair, is probably a better Beauty and the Beast story. So we discover that she's going to this nexus that connects a bunch of different realms and worlds and has all these different mythical creatures going in and out. It's like a library of knowledge, a very large library with a bunch of books and fantasy books. I think my favorite part of this like little introduction is that Mira has this sexual tension with the library. She loves it. And at this point, I'm on team library. Screw Jackson, screw Torrhen, screw Shadow Beast. Like, give me the library and Mira. The Shadow Beast puts her in jail. It's like the thing she's always wanted. It's super bad prison that is like complete wish fulfillment. And like he wants to know like how she touched the Shadow Realm, and she don't know. So he forces her painfully to change into a werewolf, which is kind of sucks and leaves her like sobbing mess. And she, you know, I feel for her and stuff. But like he says you're gonna start working in the libraries until you figure out what else going on with the shadow beings, and yeah, I guess new dynamic. She's exploring through these chapters, all these realms and stuff, and learning about it. Man, do they sound interesting? And what's sad is that like each of these realms have only like a sentence to explain what they are. And I'm like, I feel like we have some time. Can we go into a little more detail? It's one of those things where it just feels like the author kind of expects you to know what these things are, and I don't. I'm sure I'll get to them eventually, but I'd like to know. So it's not like I'm knocking the writing or anything, but it's very interesting, and thank you for teasing me with that. We meet Gaster, who's like in charge of the library, and he's super nice and super cool, and he's a goblin. I thought, like in all the books I've read, goblins are to be murdered. So it was nice seeing a goblin that's just kind of nice. He was cool. She has this armoire that can just summon any clothes she wants. Like it like reads her mind and what kind of clothes she wants. She goes to this cafeteria and just get any food she wants, and it's like the best food she's ever had. This is all like sci-fi and Star Trek reminiscent. Like I guess we're in the sci-fi realm now. We meet Inky, which this is the part where I had to reread. So when I was going through this, Shadow Beast, it definitely felt like Shadow Beast had 2 different personalities, and I was like, I think they have twins. I don't know. Like I was thinking that there was definitely 2 of them, because like you have this nice one and you have the evil one. So the evil one's like very threatening her with insubordination will be punished, which you just said the magic words, like punish her, Shadow Daddy. And then you have the nice one who's like all soft and like you gotta say the right questions, which is not going to work out in your favor, Shadow Daddy, because I don't know what the right question is, and she don't know what the right question is, and she has no filter. So she's just going to ask all the questions and hope she says the right one. Because when she says the wrong question, you don't punish her. You're just quiet. So she's gonna try again. Like, what are we doing here? You want to train your sub, you should train your sub, not just let her do whatever she wants. Then we meet Angel in the cafeteria, and she's apparently been sitting there for 500 years, and no one has talked to her until Mira comes along, which sounds about right. So clearly the Shadow Beast hasn't been talking to Angel in 500 years, so what is she doing there? She doesn't work, she doesn't clean, she's just there in the cafeteria, like, all right. And we don't get to find out what Angel's doing there in the entire novel, so maybe it's important later. I feel like she should have a job. Everyone else has a job. You know, even Mirror has a job. What are you doing here, Angel? And the Shadow Beast is very much like surprised that Mirror like is not afraid of her. And like, Shadow Daddy, you have to like make her fear you. She has to suffer. She ain't suffering. There's no suffering going on right now. So that was like the first 5 chapters, 16 through 21. And, you know, we get to learn about all this land here. And then 22, we go and find out that Mira has released all these shadow beasts. I keep saying shadow beasts, but it's like a shadow being because we have a shadow beast, apparently. And they find some kind of shadow minotaur on Earth, and they go to capture it, which is really just the shadow beast doing his thing. I don't even know why Mira was there. But good thing Mira was there because we find out the shadow being is very different to her and not the violent being that Shadow Beast was explaining, which opens up a whole can of worms. And during chapters 22 and 23, oh my God, Mira's got some zingers. Like, you can tell that the author is just absolutely having a blast with this novel and having a wonderful time. You're not really supposed to be taking this seriously. And she's got some words to say to asshole narcissists, and I'm here for it. It just makes me fall in love with Mira even more. All right, so then we get into chapter 25 through 27, and Mira starts to learn more about the angel girl. And this is one of the funnier parts in chapter 25 is when Angel's like seeing Mira's predicament of being captured and has to work and it's cleaning, and she's like, he's trying to break you. So let's see what Shadow Beast has done. Yeah, he like hurt her in the beginning and stuff, and has been like threatening her and like all verbal. He said insubordination will be punished, but there's no punishment, Shadow Daddy. Where's my punishments? I was promised punishments. She's just cleaning, and she's like frustrated at the cleaning because like everything self cleans. So I get that, but like mopping's not gonna break you. Maybe I have a little bit of a warped idea of what it takes to break someone. I did go through boot camp and Marine Corps boot camp, so I've seen people being broken down with the military. So like whatever she's going through is awesome. Because you have the library, you have all the food and shelter she could possibly want. She has all the time to read all these books and stuff that she's desperately desired. She's away from all these horrible things that have happened to her. Like, this is not breaking. She has to suffer, Shadow Daddy. That's how you break someone. So at the end of chapter 25, she gets invited to dinner, and we get to see all of Shadow Beast's friends. And this is one of my favorite parts of Mirror. She's like, they just got out of this conversation of Shadow Beast trying to breaking her. She's like, I won't be broken. I'm not going to wear a black little submissive dress and bow to him and stuff. I'm going to put on makeup. I'm going to be beautiful. I'm going to have extravagant dresses. And she doesn't know how to put on makeup. It's just another aspect of her. She's just so lovable. Like she just throws herself at every single kind of obstacle and idea, and she just expects it to work and blows up in her face. Sometimes it works out, and it's just like everyone needs to be like Mira. And in chapter 26, she meets these friends of Shadow Beast. They're all like different and same at the same time, and they're kind of interesting, but we don't get to see them much in this novel. Definitely feels like it's setting up for future novels, which is not a bad thing. It's just annoying to me as I'm only reading one book at the moment. Another reason, if you were going to read these, make sure you read the 3. I have no idea what happens in 2 and 3. And she's got all these guys, these hot guys that she's having some kind of sexual tension with, and she's like, I'm a virgin. I love this about her because like in the books I read, the female characters are shy and submissive to the main male character in the male power fantasies. And having this openness about your sexuality is such a relief. My God. I really hope that this is the norm in romance novels, because I'm eating. I didn't realize I was thirsty. Now I'm getting quenched. And then chapter 27, we get some more smut. So we got to do the smut dance. Got our smut. We got our smut. Thank you, author, for the smut. It's masturbation, but it's smut. And I love that she just absolutely refuses to give any kind of sexual satisfaction to these people that are like trying to dominate her and stuff. Like, they don't deserve you. They're all narcissists. Like, I am rooting for you, Mira. Please do not. You don't get to have any of Mira if you can't have any empathy for her and can't talk to her and can't have any understanding of her, what her feelings are and desires are and what her wants and needs are. Like, I'm rooting against Shadow Beast. And then you have 28, where we go back to the cafeteria. Angel is not eating her food, and she explains that food doesn't sustain me. Like, okay, what does? And she invites Mira to her realm. And I'm like, oh God, is this like a trap? Is this where we find out that human flesh is what sustains you? But no, it's actually just a heartwarming frolic through the Angel land, which is cute. And Angel explains how she's not afraid of the Shadow Beast. She can stand up to him, and it's a great check on his power. We don't want some unlimited power male fantasy. It's not interesting to read. And then at the end of chapter 28, she goes and snuggles with the shadow being that they captured, the Minotaur. And turns out shadow beings are snuggle sluts. Who knew? Chapter 29, Shadow Beast finds the shadow being, the shadow Minotaur, and Mira snuggling, and is very upset. I really don't know why. Like, yeah, you own her, but you haven't done anything to own her. Like, you're not snuggling with her. She probably would like it, but Shadow Minotaur beat you to it. And then we start to get Mira's like very sexual attraction to all this power he's emanating, his aura and stuff. And I'm just like, what are you doing here, Shadow Being? Like, if you want to know why any of this double vision is happening, and touching the shadow realm, and obviously why this violent monster is snuggling with her, like, just talk to her. Like, you should be hanging out with her. You should be taking her to lunch, talking about her past. Like, she's done double visioning all her life. Like, she has the key to your desires to find out what's happened to the Shadow Realm and getting back to it and stuff. And you're taking no actions to learn anything about her and what she's doing. And I get that you're a deity and like a god, and maybe you're kind of afraid of her and stuff. But like, I feel like there should be actions taken to understand her. And then chapter 30 is when she talks to Angel in the cafeteria again and starts a bond with her. Skipping a few steps in their relationship there. But, I mean, Angel at least has empathy for her and, talks to her, and they have relations. So, like, I'm on Team Angel. At this point, it's like literally just the library and Team Angel and Team Simone. Like, screw all these guys. They're all horrible. Chapter 31, Shadow Beast and Mira go off to capture a spider being this time. And we learn this is more the softer side of the Shadow Beast. And again, I'm just like, the whole time, like, there's like two of them. There has to be two of them. This doesn't make any sense unless there's two of them. And that was actually why I reread it twice. So, spoilers. She keeps talking about Inky. Now, what happened was I wrote this entire review, and I was very upset with Shadow Beast. Like, I was like, I hated his character because it was so inconsistent. It didn't make sense. It pulled me out of my immersion and stuff like that. And well, I mean, it kind of still does. But I would say it's the reason this isn't getting higher ratings is because Shadow Beast is so inconsistent. And I really believe this arc should have been resolved in this book, because it's kind of unsatisfying how it is written. But I was laying on the couch watching a witchy horror movie with my partner. It was boring. I was there just to kind of like snuggle with her and pet her head, and just like I was thinking about the review, and I was thinking about the characters. So did I miss anything? I don't know if I missed anything. And then I remembered Inky. I'm like, I was sitting there like, why is Inky in the book? He doesn't do anything. And then like flashes in my memory just kept appearing of all the times that she would say how it felt to touch Inky and how it felt to touch Shadow Beast. And I remember now that they kept hinting at this connection and stuff. At the time, I was just like, oh yeah, Shadow Beast is just letting her in with his emotions, and it's very sweet. But and then I read chapter 20 again with Gaster saying, looking at Inky and calling him a supreme being with the Shadow Beast, and I'm like, oh my god, there are two of them. So yeah, I really found these breadcrumbs that are put into the book that I didn't pay attention to in my first reread, and I missed. I thought it was very clever, and I think we should give a mystery tag to this book. I do believe it would have probably landed more better with me if this had been resolved at the end of this novel, where it's revealed this way. I also don't really know. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it's correct though. So hopefully I'm just correct, and there are two of them, or maybe he's like fractured, and it's a yin and yang thing. And the story is supposed to be her like healing him and like making him whole again, which is a very sweet and endearing like story. And if that is the story, I recommend it. I just wish that something like this could have been resolved in this novel, so we could have like seen what it was going to be about. But in the novel, it's not. All right, so the next parts are chapters 32 through 40. The narrative changes a little bit. It's the theme. So we start with chapter 32 with Mir getting off cleaning duty. Wow, that was such a great breaking that you did with her cleaning, and now she's off of it, and she can pick whatever job she wants while she's in the library, and she doesn't pick one. She just wants to read. I'm like, yeah, let the breaking continue. And then she meets Linz in the library, and I love this part because she's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna use my stealth abilities to go and like stalk him. And I'm like, what stealth abilities? We haven't even mentioned this at all. Like, in fact, I believe your stealth abilities was immediately found out in chapter 6, and you were captured again. Like, I guess we're doing this. And it's fun because like it's immediately shut down in the next paragraph. Like Linz sees her, and she's like, "Aw, she's so cute. She's so naive. She just thrusts herself and does not let failure ever hold her back. It's so beautiful." And then at the end of it, Linz invites her to dinner. Maybe we'll have food this time, because the last dinner we did not have food. Chapter 33, Shadow Beast immediately shuts that down. It's like, you're not going to dinner. And at this point, the narrative shifts between, it's more of a focus on Shadow Beast and Mira, because they make a bet. They make a bet that Mira can't lose her virginity in 14 days. And I really like this. This feels like positive sexual tension between them, or healthy like sexual dynamics. Like he's there. It feels like they're kind of like, equals and stuff. They're on the same footing and they're having fun with it. Like it's heartwarming. And the best part is after they make this bet, Mira jumps on him and is like, I'm gonna win this bet. And there's a lot of the sexual tension here going on, and you can just see kind of like the feelings of the Shadow Beast really screwed up. He's like, oh wait, if you have sex with me, that means I lose the bet. Oh. And he's just like immediate regret that he has. I just love that part. So 34 through 37 is about her trying to get laid. 34, she comes up with all these ideas in her bed. She horrible ideas. And 35, she meets with Angel, and Angel's like, why don't you just go to Earth and get laid? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm with them. Like, we need some more smut, man. And then at this point, it really starts to focus on the Shadow Realm door and her abilities and stuff. Because at the end of 35, the Shadow Beast talks about her father, and he keeps calling her Sonny, which is what her father says. And now I'm like thinking about it. If there's two of them, maybe her dad's with her. Like, how does he know to call her Sonny? And like, this is not resolved why he calls her Sonny all the time. Is her daddy part of the Shadow Daddy? Is he literally a Shadow Daddy, literal in every sense of the word? I don't know though. So it's just a thought that came to my mind, because that isn't resolved either. How he knows to say that. So he says that she wants to meet her dad. She wants to find out about her dad and her family. She hasn't seen him in years. She doesn't really know why he challenged the Alpha, which we don't know either. Not gonna find out in this novel. And he like dangles a carrot in front of her stick, and I'm actually seeing some intelligence from Shadow Beast because this is how you break someone, using your father. This was the original Beauty and the Beast, how they broke Belle in the first place, using her father against her. If you want to break someone, this is how you do it. So he dangles this carrot of like, you need to get into the Shadow Realm to see your dad or have a chance of seeing your dad and stuff. And now she's like resolved to do this and shifts over. She runs to try and meet her dad, who's in the afterlife somewhere, and then gets hung up on this door that she can touch through her wolf abilities. And the Shadow Realm's like, you succumb to the shadows. And she wants to like be one of the shadows, and she like starts to give into it and almost dies. And I'm like, I'm on Team Shadow at this point too. Team Library, Team Angel, Team Simone, Team Shadow Door. Like at least the Shadow Door like knew what she wanted. It was looking at her own desires and was trying to help her. It's not the Shadow Beast. In chapter 37, we see the first point of concern because Miri almost dies from this Shadow Realm, and they're in the shower and he's to warm her up. It's a scene. She wakes up naked in his bed. Still a virgin, unfortunately. And there's a lot of, he starts seeing some concern of Shadow Beast, and again, it's just like the whole twins thing. Like this isn't Shadow Beast. I've come to know. I don't know who this is. So I really thought there was two of them. And 38 through 40, she goes on chapter 38. She goes to the door and she's like, okay, I need to figure this out. And Reese helpfully shows up and says, yeah, the door's changed. You did something to the door. Apparently, the Shadow Door is getting more action than any of the characters. And then, so we just immediately put, a pin in that. Like, all right, we got the doors changing, but we got Shadow Beans in Torma, and her and Shadow Beast go in chapters 39 and 40. The Shadow Beans stage an ambush. Oh, there's a lot of them. They just attack Shadow Beast and they drag Mirror off. Where are we dragging Mirror off to? I don't know. I don't even think they know. So they get separated, and then Torn at the end of chapter 40 shows up and it's like, my true mates. And then that poor wolf's like, oh, my true mates. But like, are they rejected? I don't know. And then Mirror starts running away from her true mate, like a normal soulmate does. Yeah, lots of things happening here. The tension's starting to ratchet up between other main male characters and stuff. So we'll see how this goes. So the next narrative shifts goes into 41 and 51. And I'm going to be honest, I don't like 41. Literally nothing in this chapter makes sense at all. All the characters completely act against their nature that we've established the entire book. You have Torrin, who's rejected her and is trying to bring her back to the pack for reasons. And when like Mirror talks about how maybe he's found the power that true mates come this. Like, I feel like this was already known. Everyone knows about this, so why wouldn't he know that before? He jumps on her, he kisses her, he shoves his soulmate power bond into her. Metaphorically, not literally, unfortunately. And Shadow Beast comes and they have this standoff. And at this point, I'm like, just kill Torn. I don't understand why the Shadow Beast did not. They try to hand wave it, saying that he can't kill alphas, but he already killed an alpha. And saying that Mirror belongs to Torn, to the true maintenance, but it was rejected. That was why Shadow Beast was allowed to take her in the first place, because he challenged her back in chapter 15, saying that she's my true mate. She belongs to me. You can't take her. And but he rejected her. So the Shadow Beast was allowed to take her. And it's that rejection's still a thing, right? So Shadow Beast is holding back, I guess, because of this. I don't know why he's holding back. There's no explanation for why he's holding back. The only explanation given was the whole rejected thing, but he was already rejected, and we've already killed an alpha. So let's kill Torn. He's already egreged you more than Victor has, for sure. He kissed Mira, and you know about it. So just kill him. So I really don't understand why Shadow Beast did not kill him. It was very immersion breaking. And then Mira, is telling Shadow Beast, like, hold him back. Like, you have this whole standoff between these two main characters, which I guess is the point of this chapter. They're trying to get some male to male tension and fighting over her and stuff. But like, it was very contrived. I didn't like it. And Mira's like, he's not worth it. And then like the next paragraph, she gets into a scuffle with Torn because she wants to fight him himself. And then they bite and they claw and stuff. And then Shadow Beast interrupts him again. And she gets back up. She's like, no, stop. Don't hurt him. Like, he's not worth it. Like, why did you fight him? This whole chapter just doesn't make sense at all. It's like, what is happening here? I honestly wish we can just burn it and just go from 40 to 42. During this, we find out that Danny is the one that like told them about Shadow Beast and how all his powers work and stuff, but it's all like off screen. And she tells the Shadow Beast, "Can you please help Danny?" And he's like, "I'll take care of it." He's all being very nice, and then he grabs her, takes her back to the Shadow library place, and puts her in a room and says, "Next time I come to this room, you're gonna break the seal on the door. I'm going to kill you." What? What? Do we have a time limit? Like, what's going on here? What is the behavior? You were just nice before, and now you're angry. I was like, none of it just makes sense at all. But there are some saving graces because the next chapters are my favorite. So chapters 42 through 44 are easily my favorite chapters. I adore these. So end of chapter 41, Mira gets thrown into her room and with no food until she can. I mean, we did establish earlier that like it takes desperate situations for her to double vision and touch things, but like he don't know that. How would he know that? Like, he didn't talk to her, so how would he know that that's a thing? I mean, that was all in Mira's head. And the best part of chapter 42, so she's hungry. It's been a week. She's starving and stuff, and she starts to like learn about her powers. And what does she do? She summons a prince. I just like this plot is something for sure. Like, it's a roller coaster, and I don't want to get off. Did not expect that. Like, thank you so much, author, for that. That was beautiful. So she summoned a prince from the Shadow Realm who can't talk to her and hurts her. So Shadow Beast jumps in 43 and it's like, oh, consequences to my actions. He threw her in there to touch the Shadow Realm, so she did. She summoned a prince. So the prince and Shadow Beast are now fighting because he's like a check on his power. Like, they're kind of like sort of equal. He's a little bit better. So Mira runs off to be safe and goes to go to the cafeteria. So in chapter 44, she meets Angel again. And she's like, "Oh, I'm glad you're safe. It's been a week. We've missed you." And she's like, "Yeah, Shadow Beast threw me in my room and gave me no food." And Angel's like, "What?" Shadow Beast told everyone that she was working on a research project. It pisses her off. And I'm just like, yes. Like, turning his own staff against him. Because we've had all this insubordination from Mira. And, like, there's been no punishments. And the punishments are here now, Shadow Daddy. We're punishing the Dom. Like, his whole staff and, like, world is, like, falling apart here because of his dumbassness and throwing her in his room and stuff. Like, yes, we have all these consequences for an action. I'm down with this patriarchy. I absolutely love it. Best part is like Angel's like, yeah, all this shadow being stuff and danger is happening. Like, girl, you need to get laid. You need to go to Earth. You gotta win that bet. It's very important right now. And you know what? As a reader, chapter 44, we got 14 chapters left after this, and there's not really been much spice. So I'm with you. Come on, Angel. Let's get her laid. So 45 through 47 is Fairyland. We don't know where the Shadow Beast is going. There was fighting. The Hearth is out now, and they're trying to make sure the Shadow Beast is okay before they run off to Earth, I guess. And then Lynn shows up and knocks her out and takes her to Fairyland. So 45, we discover Fairyland, and it's chaotic and dangerous and awesome. Please let us just have the rest of the story in Fairyland. It is so awesome. because you have like these flowers that give sense, and they're all these illusions. So dangerous. It's it's like Alice in Wonderland if everything was trying to murder you. Like, I love this. I want more of this. Shadow Beast shows up and he's like, a different person again. He's now nice and sweet and like actually talking to her. And we have this forced proximity for 2 days while the fires that were in the hearse going to round up every shadow being in every realm. Like, this was the thing. We could have done this the whole time. Like, you could have just grabbed Mira. You could have done the fires and thrown her in a room, then had to talk to her and find out about how she touches the shadow realm and open the shadow door. Like, do we need the rest of it? That was definitely a mark against the thing. Like, this whole, like, if you're going to do something like this, at least make it, like, very costly to Shadow Beast, which it's not. You can just do it. It was so immersion breaking. I did not like that he just had this nuclear option that he didn't use for some reason, and not given a reason why he didn't use it. So at the end of 47, we get to the music. So we had this forced proximity, hanging out here for 2 days while the shadows round up all the shadow beings, and it's dangerous to the shadow beast, so he has to be in the fairy realm, which is fine, I guess. We have this music that happens twice a year. It turns all fairy people into sluts. I'm just like, man, the fairy realm is so interesting. Like, why can't we just be here? And you thought you were going to escape, Mira. You thought you could get away with not losing your virginity to the shadow beast. Like, the music has shown up. Sorry, Mira, you can do a lot of things and defend yourself against a lot, but not the author's writing. Your virginity will be lost. And I'm like, all right. So then chapter 50 is our smut. So we got the smut, so we got to do your smut dance. Thank you for the smut. We really appreciate it. And it's an entire chapter of smut. So side note, first off, I've actually done what happens in this chapter. I've done it myself. A girl asked me to do it. And it went very long, and she had pretty much all the same reactions that Mira did. It was quite wonderful for that day. Until the next day, when I discovered what a yeast infection is. Now I didn't get the yeast infection, she did, and I discovered how painful it is through lots of text and angry phone calls. I'm sorry to say, she did not call me back after that. Like, I didn't get a second chance. I was definitely not empathetic. I was just like, you asked me to do it, girl. So yeah, if you want to do what they do in chapter 50, good on you. It's very wonderful for both sides, but please be careful. Yeast infections are a thing. And then, like, Shadow Beast, he's like, I can't sit here and watch you suffer from something that I could possibly stop you from doing. And I'm like, what did you just say? I'm staring at my phone, and I'm just like reading it. I'm like, no, Shadow Beast, you take that back right now. Did we not just spend an entire novel of you giving her pain? And it was so immersion breaking. I was just like, no. In chapter 51, we got her sex now, which is the best part. It's like, I love this plot. Like, I'm sitting there in chapter 49, like, all right, she's about to lose her virginity and still a virgin. I did not see that coming. Like, yeah, I'm not bored with this plot. In chapter 51, he uses some ink that makes tattoos, and like, it's super hot. Like, I like tattoos. And if you didn't know, misogynists hate tattoos on women. So if you want less misogynist in your life, get some tattoos. All right, so in chapter 51, the flames are done. All the shadow beings are rounded up. We gotta round up this plot. So, this is how we're doing it. 53, Angel and Shadow fight. Angel's very upset with the Shadow Beast for how he's treating Mira. I'm with her. Shadow Beast is very just weird. I don't understand his, like, it's one thing to be like, I don't relate to the Shadow Beast, but one thing to not understand why he's doing anything. Like, there's just no reasons given for why he's doing any of the stuff that he's doing. I just wish we would know, and we don't know in this novel. And then Jackson and Torrent show up. and throw some dust and capture Mira and take her back to the pack because of course they do. Like I get Jackson and Torn, wanting to bring people back to the pack, but like, why did you banish her? Like, why would you banish her if she can't lead the pack? Like, it's just I'm getting whiplash between banishment and like bringing her back to the pack. Like, it's just, can we explain a little bit? And like I understand like narcissist behavior, and they're narcissists and they don't think about their feelings. They just think about how the pack is. So like I get it. But like, couldn't we have done this like 40 chapters ago? So 54 through 56 is basically appealing to Mira to be with the pack. Simone's there too. And they've talked about how Danny's dead, and she allowed them to get this dust and shut off the Shadow Realm from being able to be gotten to for the Shadow Beast. So they think that they're safe from the Shadow Beast now. It's just like, yeah, we don't have any kind of record of being fearful of this deity, and it didn't just kill Victor, which is the only character arc that got resolved in this book. Like, I think that's cheating. You don't get to get away. Like, I've spent my life like cutting narcissists off my life, and I'm looking forward to cutting Jackson and Torn out of my life very shortly. But Victor got away too easy. Like, we need him to suffer a little bit more. So Simone is, and what I do like about these chapters is we get to see the internal dialogue of Mira. She's like, again, exploiting their expectations. They expect her to just be like, yeah, I'm part of the pack again. They don't talk to her about what her experiences were. They don't talk about her feelings. And she'll tell them how she feels. They just ask. That's all they got to do is just ask, and she'll tell them. So she's like totally exploiting all their ineptitude, and I'm here for it. Like, yeah. And then Simone at the end of chapter 56 is like, I'm ready to run with you, girl. I just want to be with you. And I'm like, I love Simone. I'm Team Simone right here. And like, of course, like, yeah, no one leaves the pack except for, Simone and Mira. They want to leave the pack. 57, 58, we find out that Danny's dead. I don't believe you. Like, nice try. We'll see. And then they're over the rafters of this pack meeting explaining what happened to Danny and something about sacrificing a virgin. What? Yes, blood rituals are more powerful virgins, but like, who? In fact, where's Cicely? Where's she at? So, and then Shadow Beast and his friends show up. She's very angry, and she thinks that Shadow Beast is like lying to her, and jumps and confronts him. I'm like, can we just wait a couple more minutes and get some more information, please, from this pack meeting? I feel like they're about to say some more important things. Like, it's very confrontational, very werewolfy. Well, I need some information. I need some plot arcs to be resolved here at the end of my novel, and it doesn't happen. There is a preview at the end of chapter 48 for the next novel, but I didn't read it because I don't want no spoilers. We'll see what happens. Okay, so final thoughts. That was the end of the book. I know I've made fun of the book a lot. I did enjoy the story and the plots and the roller coaster that it had. Like, just being constantly challenged of my expectations of what's going to happen next. Like, that was a very fun ride for me. Mira, I absolutely love Mira. She's incredible. And if I do continue the story, it's because of Mira. She's an amazing character that the author has written. And I absolutely, thoroughly enjoyed my time with her. I don't like any of the main male characters. They're all narcissists. None of them care about Mira's feelings. They only care about Mira in relation to themselves. And it's horrible to watch. And I'm rooting against all of them. The whole Inky and Shadow Beast thing, I thought was very clever. Like, I was very impressed with these breadcrumbs that were happening. Like, I mean, maybe I'm completely wrong. I don't know. It was breadcrumbs. Like, those are definitely breadcrumbs. So we'll see if the next book novels resolve any of these character arcs. I'm not hopeful. After seeing what happens in novel 1, like, the only character arc was Victor, and just because he died. Yeah, we don't resolve things here. I don't know if I'm going to finish chapter 2 and 3, but if you do read this book, you should definitely resolve yourself to that. I'm starting to feel like maybe I should just review series instead of individual novels. But I did enjoy the book. I had a great time. I thought it was hilarious. It did feel like the novel wasn't supposed to be taken that seriously. The author was just having a blast. I was having a blast with her. I think the world building was very interesting, and I wanted to see more. Like I am thoroughly teased with world building. This is my username on romance.io. So if you want to check out what I'm reading or how I reviewed these books, just check me out over there. This is my email. If you want to recommend me titles and stuff, especially werewolves books or anything that has that dynamic of like this sub destroying a patriarchy with her submissiveness, like, recommend me those books or tell me how much you hate me in my review that made fun of this book. I really hope I didn't hurt anyone's feelings. I was taking it in the nature of how the writing prose felt, which is not to take it seriously. So I hope you had as much fun as I did during this review. The next book we'll be reviewing is Lady of Darkness, which sounds like a vampire book. So we've had our werewolves, and maybe we'll get into our vampires now. And thank you so much, author, for writing the book. I did enjoy it. I gave you enough money for coffee, and I hope you enjoy your coffee and think about me when you have that coffee. And then I will see you in the next one. So see you later.